The Jim and Terry Show, wrapping up our podcast for this week with some interesting observations on Musk and Twitter, among other things, but let's start there. Elon Musk, Nine Inch Nails, what do they have in common?
Nothing.
Twitter. One owns
they used
Twitter,
to have Twitter.
and one has withdrawn from Twitter.
Well, that means nothing. One's withdrawn,
Right.
and one's still there, equals nothing.
But the reason for Nine Inch Nails withdrawing, or the lead singer specifically for Nine Inch Nails, is Musk's ownership. So they do have something in common. There is a convergence where they cross paths on Twitter.
Well, I love the idea of not being a part of something you don't like. I mean, if I don't like...
That's your right to vote with your feet, right?
If I don't like
it,
a
leave it.
certain guitar, I'm definitely not going to buy it. Or, I think you're getting more at the reason behind he doesn't want to be a part of Twitter anymore is because Trump, what's Trump call it? What he believes in? Truthism of some kind, he calls it. A free speech of some kind. It can't be truthism because truth's barely existing anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's just go at it from the notion of free speech, which is what it's supposed to be. And I will tell from personal observation, since Musk deal closed and since he took over leadership and moved in with his sleeping bag to Twitter headquarters and fired half the staff and whatever he's done, the reverberations are obvious. People that I never follow and stories I'm not interested in are showing up in my feed, which is kind of interesting because I would never, in my right mind, follow some of these people. So I must be in my left mind because some of them are showing up. Anyway, it's just to say that things are not clear on Twitter. Not clear enough that some people are voting with their feet and withdrawing services. And I recall my hero Neil Young withdrawing from Spotify when they decided to host Joe Rogan's controversial podcast. And I voted with my feet and pulled my one album. I think I had maybe one song. I don't know what I had, but I said, ready. I'm going to follow Neil Young.
Well, I follow this guy named Jim Sampson.
Are you on Spotify?
No, and nobody cares less what I'm not on. What I care.
I do care.
I don't follow any of it. I got to do something, obviously, with this fantastic fanfare of my new album. But right now, so far, I've done nothing. So Canadian.
I've got an autographed CD. I'll put it on auction on eBay. Fundraiser for Jim Sampson.
I don't know how much I appreciate everybody who decides to leave to make it a great big thing. I don't know why they can't just
I don't think
leave.
he made it a great big thing. He had one line. I think I might have even had it here somewhere.
No, but I mean, he's who he is, and he posts it. I'm leaving.
Here's just a little social experiment. I'm going to change the topic. I just threw this at Jim. Judging by this person you see on this video, could you summarize anything just by that?
Well, you want me to say he's a right-wing conservative conspiracy
You
theorist.
would get all that. That's the father of...
But he's also very macho.
That's the father of the shooter.
Do you know the shooter has identified himself as non-binary, eh?
Yes, they
So
pronouns.
this guy made a point of saying he's not gay. What is he?
A non-binary.
Non-binary me, he could be gay.
Possibly. But the father's praising him for his violence.
Praising him for his violence. How could you even do that?
You got me, but I'm thinking that's the face of somebody who could do that. Not that I'm judging by appearances, but there's something.
Well,
not
I mean,
quite...
if you're not totally remorse about the people who died and lost
There
their lives,
you go.
you've got a major problem in your life.
So, are we seeing the lack of empathy in this?
Well, yeah. But
Well, to use the quote from this excerpt, the quote from the father in this interview, which we cannot hear, but here's the quote in quotation marks. I praised him for violent behavior really early. I told him, it works. You'll get immediate results. What? Then he went on to praise Colorado shooter's grandpa, a MAGA Republican politician named Randy Vospel, who supported the January 6th insurrection. Are there dots to be connected, or is this just,
no, it's a guy that should shut up.
This is the realm of satire.
Yes, yes.
So I don't know whether you've seen that.
Well, no, I haven't seen it. That's funny as all get out, though.
Anyway, you can find that stuff and more. So the question is, Twitter then and Nine Inch Nails, is that a controversy? I don't think so. I think people have the right to vote with their feet, and they did, and people are leaving and other people are arriving. Trump is deciding not to.
Yeah, Trump himself, because he's supporting his own, which nobody's on apparently. But
it's the biggest, greatest thing since his University of Trump.
Well, I don't know why he wouldn't have gone back to Twitter.
If that was the case?
I just don't know why he didn't do that.
I think there's a lawsuit in his contract that if he goes anywhere else with his tweets or his social media, that he will be sued.
Okay.
And I don't know. Anyway, that's...
Well, then, if that's true, and if Elon knew it, and he said that, why did he ruffle feathers, Elon, I mean, when he knew that that couldn't happen and get everybody upset? Is that just to promote Twitter?
So many questions.
So many questions.
So we don't know.
Because, I mean, if he already knew that, then why go on and say you're going to reinstate someone
to incite a riot?
Well, it's just the way of the world, which I just can't stand. You're making life people upset just because you can.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me when you would say, I can see you saying, I would reinstate Trump, but unfortunately he can't come on ours because he's got
a contractual agreement. Social.
I can understand that. And that still might get people upset, but not to the point where they got that upset, and he did it on purpose because he's not an idiot. So he did it on purpose. Why? Well, I don't know.
When you say he's an idiot, there are...
No, I said not an idiot.
Yeah, but I'm going to say he is an idiot because I'm going to argue that intelligence is only one form of smart. He might be intelligent in business or in ways of building stuff. Engineering, maybe, but he's not smart in terms, I don't think, of managing a corporation of human resources.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, he's built a number of successful businesses, Tesla being one of them. And I know that the market's going down, but the market's gone down in every auto industry. You reach a peak and it goes down. He may be also pushing that down because of his political beliefs. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure about his political beliefs. All I know is that Twitter's got less than half the employees it had when he took over. And that sometimes is a smart business move because you cut to the bone and then rebuild.
I don't like the brutality of the way in which it appears he did it. I don't respect that. I never will.
You mean the emails?
Well, these people have lives.
Yeah.
They have families to feed. They have, and I've always hated the layoffs at Christmas. Yeah. I've always hated that. Yeah. So this is no different. I hate it. Go in there, weed it out, because he had to hire some back. So now you traumatized a whole part of your workforce that didn't need to be traumatized.
And you're demanding loyalty, and you're not going to get it.
And then now you're saying, okay, now that you're coming back, you have to be every bit the same as me. No.
Bring your sleeping bag.
This is your company. You make the billions. We do not. So no, that ain't going to happen. And I can understand him even going as far as saying, no, you must work here. But to say you must dedicate your entire life to this company, I'd be looking for another job.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. It's controversial only because it represents something of the divide, to go back to a book we mentioned in the first podcast of this 500 series, Looking Back. The book is about Trump. It's a biography of his 4 years in power. And I think it even covers the 2 years post. It's just been published, so it's got some of the post-election, post-2020 analysis. But divider, I think that's what's going on with Twitter. There's a divider going in. And you can feel it. You can see it on the Twitter feeds and what's going on, what people are talking about. But we were going to talk about specifically this time about climate change and the positions on climate. And I sent you a little curiosity item of a guy who's making a mountain bike trip through a pass that used to be occupied by a glacier. And now there is no glacier. And that's in, I'm not going to get this right, am I?
Climate is changing,
it's
for sure.
Kyrgyzstan.
But I was watching a program, and it was about something totally different. But they mentioned several times about what was it called? The dry era or something? It was when that winter came, and it was ushered in the ice age and everything else. That was not man-made done, and it absolutely changed the earth completely. They think the Great Flood and everything came when that period ended. So I do believe man's responsible for a lot of it, but oh little man, I think it might be, in that case, I think it was the turning on the axles of the earth, and it wasn't very much, just a little turning of the axles brought havoc upon the earth.
Havoc, a theme for 2023.